Hey there, it's Amy with Mindful Art Studio, and I want to talk to you about my top tips for having an art studio at home today. My number one tip for making a more open, freeing art space in your house is to get rid of a lot of your stuff. Most artists have so much clutter, and most of us just don't have space for having an infinite number of art supplies and an infinite number of collage bits and previous artworks and what have you. So when you begin to narrow down what you have and get honest with yourself about the supplies you actually use, the art pieces you really and truly are going to use, I think you'll find that it opens up a spaciousness and a beauty in your art space. And also, what often happens for my students is when they go to make art, they don't even know where their supplies are. And so they have to spend time searching or cleaning. And then by the time they find what they're looking for, all of the time and energy for creation is just poof, gone. So I think the first step for me with my students is always see what you can declutter. Not everyone is going to be as minimalist as me. I totally get that. But see if you can narrow down some and whether that gives you a little bit more freedom in terms of being able to find things quickly, having space on which to create, right? Like if you have no open table space, you can't get started. And then having some emotional weight lifted and freedom to get started. My second tip is to organize and contain. So for example, I have this old piece of furniture and I organize all of my collage bits in here in little separate containers, and I can just take them out and work on whatever I want at any time. It is super convenient and helps me to stay organized and pick things up and get going. My next tip is to have plenty of storage space, ways to compartmentalize. So whether you use shelves like these or an abandoned dresser from the side of the road like I showed you, that's really going to help you. Tupperware, organizer bins, anything you can do to make smaller and smaller spaces so that it's not just a big jumble and mess inside of where you're storing things. Now, my third tip is if you have the space to create separate stations for different kinds of creating. So in my case, at times I have a paper cutting station, a collaging station, and a watercolor station. And that could be all within the same table. That could mean within separate little cubbies. Like if you're in a really contained space, like you have to keep a Tupperware under your bed, you could have smaller Tupperwares within the larger Tupperware, just pull it out and then start creating. If you're inspired about making an art studio at home, but you still need a little bit more help, I've got a free class that I can help you with when you sign up via the link. Another tip that is so important for making art at home is having good light. Now, you might have great light in your studio throughout the day, except for at night, but in my studio, that's definitely not the case. And I think for a lot of us, working in basements and attics and garages and who knows what, we need good light. Or closet, I've been there. So I love a light that's actually meant for filming and whatnot, but I just find the light is so versatile. It's from Canvas, and I've just turned it on so you can see. And while it's got this great holder for photographing and filming, I just find that it's this beautiful light. It's got a very pretty base, right? It's got a wooden base and it's just very attractive and minimal. And I really don't mind having it on my desk, and it just lights up my work perfectly. Now I thought I'd show you all around the studio so that you get a sense of how everything flows together. So as we come through the hallway, so this is the studio. I'm just going to give you a quick kind of pan overview first so you get a feel. You can see there I have an inspiration board and a set of shelves with art that I love, some of which is mine, some of which is not. I have a gorgeous book press that my awesome husband made for me. And then you can see I have bigger pieces that I may use for collage or other purposes yet to be discovered. And those are all sitting on top of a map drawer. And I keep on this top papers that I use when I film. and watercolor papers, and then down here is into more bits that I need to keep flat, some of which are finished pieces, some of which are in process. And that is a lifesaver. It took me a long time to invest in that, but I'm so glad I finally did. And then we come over here to the best investment in my studio, which are these 2 IKEA shelves. Anything I can link for you in the description, I will do that. And I call them Georgia 1 and Georgia 2, after my favorite painter, Georgia O'Keeffe. And so I'll give you a little tour of the way I store in these. So here is a bunch of journals from over the years. And this is kind of a combo of some salt and watercolor stuff, and then mostly adhesive. And then there's some paper cut supplies back there. More brushes and my large palette. That's for like bigger pieces or when I need more colors and I need to spread out. And we've got more collage and drawing and books and a very sweet doggie who's having a nap. And then a lot of inks. This right here is all of my watercolor paints. So when people tell me they're expensive, because you can reuse the paint that's on these palettes, you never waste. So it's actually a super economic way to work. And then this is my mostly slow drawing. There's some things for challenges. And, but these are all like, so this is 2025 slow drawing patterns. And these were all ones in the book. Draw yourself calm. Anyway, I think it's fun to do a little snoop. Portable art kits, so different sizes for different, amount of time I'll be gone. A bunch of pop-up books and journals that are all living together. Really, really fun. Now let's move over to this side of the studio. So this is my table where I've been most often creating. You can see it gets incredible morning light, so that's worked out great. And I keep my large 9x12 Coptic bound book that I made. I love to make these. They just hold all the inspiration, all the ideas, all the ponderings, all my blech that I want to let out. It's a very much an anything goes, gathering ideas, and no pressure. And I just let it be whatever it wants and needs to be. So some days it's literally just dots. I don't know if I'll see that day in here or not, but take my word for it. It really is an anything goes space. So you'll see some days like there's a lot, some days there's almost nothing, except for maybe the name of the day, like there. And I just let it be enough. And then for doing other ideas and working small and taking it portable, I have a much smaller, like 3.5 by 5.5 journal that I do a combination of watercolor and pen. You can see I work out of order on purpose so that it feels really low pressure. Isn't that fun? All right, now it's time to hear from you about what creative solutions you have come up with to create an art studio space in your home, whether it's in a big, beautiful, converted barn or a tiny little closet. We want to hear your ideas about what helps you to create space and also to make art in that space. So let us know about that in the comments. And as always, please like and subscribe so that you never miss a video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.